All right, let's address the elephant in the room. I'm wearing a shirt with no sleeves. I'm kidding. I'm in a different spot. Um, Today I want to talk about a quote from a book, a famous book, Meditations, which I'm sure if you're into philosophy, you've heard of. I know probably asking yourself why I'm also talking kind of low. It's because the other people in my house are sleeping. So bear with me. There's a quote in Meditations where Marcus Aurelius says, "Be tolerant of others and strict with yourself." And it's probably my favorite quote of all time because I feel like a lot of us struggle with other people, whether it be at work, family, even friend groups. Not to say that you have to be tolerant of your friends, you like your friends, but sometimes your friends have friends that you're not crazy about. Anyway, tonight I want to kind of break down that quote into two halves. The first half, the second half, and then I kind of want to talk about the whole thing as a whole. So let's get into it. First, be tolerant of others. It's a very easy thing to say, but it's a hard thing to act on because people can be kind of annoying sometimes. You go to work and you have to deal with somebody in an office or on a construction site, or if you work in retail, you got to deal with the general public, and it's rough. It's really rough. But I think that we should be tolerant with others because at the end of the day, we don't know what other people are going through. It's easy to sit here and say about, oh, fuck that guy, the way he treated me, what he said to me. How could he say something like that? Like, well, yeah, but you also don't know what that person's going through. Now, I'm also not saying this to justify the fact that people are rude. Believe me, I totally agree. If somebody is being rude to you and you didn't do anything to them, then they shouldn't be. But I think that's where the second half of this quote comes in. Be strict with yourself. Yeah. Would it be great to just absolutely lay into that boss that doesn't appreciate you, that customer that's being rude, just that person, just you know who I'm talking about, that person. Be great to just be able to lay into them. But you're better than that. You're a better person than them. And as much as you want to lay into that person, it's better not to. There's a couple reasons. And believe me, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect and that I never lose my temper because believe me, I do. But I've slowly realized recently that there are a lot more benefits to keeping your temper than there are to losing it. Because when you lose your temper in the moment, it feels great. It's like cathartic. It's just like, wow, it's just like everything you're thinking, everything that you're feeling is just coming out. But there's always the repercussions. There's always, the boss that gets mad at you, you get fired, you lose your job, you have other circumstances, you have no money, there's no money, you know the drill. Well, I hope you don't, and I hope that never happened to you, but you can imagine. And like I said, what I realized recently is if you keep your temper, I've noticed that the other person who's getting mad gets even more mad. It's kind of weird to say, but it's the truth because I think to some extent, hurt people. And someone who's angry is going to say things to make you angry because they want someone else to feel the way that they're feeling. And when you don't give into it, when you don't, you know, when you don't, you just kind of look at them, you almost look at them with pity, and you don't let them bother you. You don't let them get under your skin. It almost bothers them more. It's like double it and give it to the next person. They get more mad and go find someone else to get them mad. And honestly, when you get through something like that, where someone's trying to bother you, or even if you're just in a situation where someone He's like intentionally trying to get on your nerves. With again, that's more like the family side, I would say, of things. I find that holding your ground and keep like holding your temper and keeping your emotions in check honestly feels better than laying into someone because it's like a discipline. It's something you train yourself to do. Look, I don't think anybody's born being like even keeled with a good temper. I feel like most people, it's a learned trait, and some people learn it easier than others. Some people are generally more, easygoing, and it takes them a lot longer to get angry. But I don't think anybody's born like that. And if they are, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. And yeah, so you look at that quote as a whole: be tolerant of others and be strict with yourself. There are a lot of bad people out there, but I think the important thing is to realize that you don't have to be one of them. I think that's kind of what Marcus Aurelius was talking about in Meditations. And I think today the reason why that quote is so prevalent is because there are so many different things that you can fall into in terms of, like you go on social media and you find a post that's controversial maybe on your For You page, and you look at the comments, and some of the comments you might agree with and some of them you might just think they're totally wrong. And it's so easy because it's so accessible to just go at the person that you disagree with. It's so easy to turn on the news and see something that you don't like to hear, or be in a public situation where some people are talking about something and you just disagree with. And I think part of the thing that you kind of have to realize, or I don't know if it's not just you, it's me too. I just say you because I'm like, I guess this is almost like for myself in a way. Thing that I have to realize too, that we have to realize, I guess, is that everyone's got their own opinion. Everyone has their own, like we said, everyone has their own problems. Everyone has their own life. And their life, our life, has led us to the point that we're at now, where we believe the things that we believe. And even if maybe they're different than you, they might have their reasons for it. And I think that if we take the quote, tolerant with others and strict with yourself, and were to put it into just as a society in general, I think the big picture, I guess, statement of it all would be accept other people for who they are and their opinions. Everyone's got a different opinion. People have opinions. That's just the way things go. Everyone's got a way they feel about something. But if we accepted everyone's opinions, accepted everyone for the way they were, and even if we didn't agree with them, and if we said, like, my right is the right and your right is your right for you, and that's cool. My right is not the right. Wait, what is it? My right is not the right. My right is right for me. And then you look at, strict with yourself. I have my opinions, and I'm not going to let the the emotions of others, the opinions of others, no matter how loud these people might be, or obnoxious, or arrogant, or how overwhelming the amount of people that have these opinions are, I'm going to be strict with myself and hold to my values and hold to my morals because that's what's best for me. So in life, no matter what, no matter if you're dealing with an angry customer, whether it's a annoying family member or some friend of a friend that you can't stand, try to be more tolerant with them. And try to be, if you can't be tolerant with them, try to be more strict with yourself, I guess. Because you can't control the people around you. No matter how much sometimes you want to, or how much we want to, we can't. The only person we have control over is ourselves. So try to be, hmm, how do I phrase this? So try to focus on the things you can control. Try to focus on your attitude. Try to focus on your emotions. Try and focus on your overall vibe. In order for you to get angry, you have to react to the person, I guess. You have to look at what they're saying and say, this bothered me. You have the option to not let it bother you. Be strict with yourself. And look, I'm not saying that, everyone's right. I'm not saying that because I said be tolerant of others. I'm not saying that, some people have opinions that are outlandish and crazy. I guess they're outlandish and crazy to us. Like I said, tolerant of others, they have their reasons for believing what they believe. But again, try to understand that there's a reason why they think that. Even if it doesn't make sense to you, even if it doesn't make sense to most people, for some whatever reason it is, it makes sense to them. So be tolerant with others and be strict with yourself. I'll see you next time.